The body count continues.
Welcome to episode 39 of The Body Count Continues. And this week, Marianne, we're dipping our toes back into a subject we've kind of covered before, into a franchise at least. Like we talked about the reboot that was released last year. Check out that episode, by the way, guys.
It's not a reboot, it's a legacy sequel.
It's kind of like a legacy sequel / reboot in a way. You know, it introduces new cast, a reboot-quel,
A rebootiquel.
a shriek-quel, a screamake. But we're going back to the original now.
Rebootiquel.
The
You know what that
rebootiquel.
is.
Am I missing something? Like,
An absolute dogshit movie that was released this week.
well, I'm already suppressing that movie, so maybe that's the problem. I remember laughing once because, like, we've hyped the Scary Movie sequel a couple of times on this podcast, and this week we finally watched it. And God damn! But yeah, we did the most recent I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. Was it like the third or fourth episode? It's quite early in the podcast.
It was one of our original episodes, and we're revisiting the franchise this week to celebrate the Summerween season. Because these are definitely Summerween movies.
Absolutely, especially the second one, I think.
I think more the first one.
Really? Maybe we'll fight about that later.
Because the first one the first one takes place on 4th of July.
They both do.
The second one, it's the setting.
In that movie, it's raining. Maybe that's why I vibe with it, because no matter what time of year in the UK, it's always raining.
That makes sense, actually.
So that's summer to me. You know, rain. Maybe it's a little warm, but
For me, the original really captures the vibe better than the
Okay.
sequel. But before we get to the movies that we watched this week, because we did watch two, it's a double feature.
yeah, it could have been a triple feature, but we decided against that.
We'll talk about I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, however briefly. But first, one of our most anticipated movies of 2026, released this week. We both went to see it. And to say that we were both disappointed, I guess, would be an understatement.
Absolutely. I called it the most depressing movie of the year in my Letterboxd review. That's all I said about it, because I just wanted to move on. But
Scary Movie 6, or Scary Movie, because they're trying to emulate Scream 5, which is also called Scream. It's very annoying when movies do that.
There's a lot of emulation of Scream 5 in this movie. Unfortunate again. But what did you think of Scary Movie?
Because the movie just came out, we're not going to do spoilers,
No.
but there's nothing apart from the ending that I liked. For me, the legacy characters, the returning characters, the characters that most of us wanted to see take a back seat to the young cast. And I find the young cast to be absolutely fucking insufferable.
Yeah, I
Not
didn't like
one
them at
likable
all.
character in sight.
Absolutely. And the legacy characters, they're not even integrated well. It's like for half of them, it's just glorified cameos. Like, what was Hansen even doing there, really?
Well, apparently they cut Hansen's role down. I'm seeing a lot of talk
Bad
from people who
decisions.
saw advanced screenings, and there were entire scenes that were cut. There's new stuff that's been added in. The scene with Hansen was atrocious.
It was just...
It was like to spoon feed us a legacy character, like, here, he's here.
There's a lot of problems, is what we're saying.
Hansen is one of, if not the best character in Scary Movie 2.
Hilarious.
And to see Chris Elliott reduced to 30 seconds, like literally, if you go to see this movie, don't get up to pee. Don't blink, because
You'll
you're going
miss
to
him.
fucking miss him. To see him reduced to that when he is probably one of the characters that I was most excited to see return was just depressing.
Yeah, absolutely. And his cameo, he has no bearing on anything else that happens. It's just, it's tossed in there. And a lot of the more recent movie references that are in there, that's what they boil down to. It's a Scream 5 / Scream 6 parody with references to weapons, Get Out, and Sinners thrown in there lackadaisically.
I really disliked all of the younger cast. I really
did too.
disliked the character of Cindy's daughter. I felt like it was over the top acting. I know a lot of people are saying that she was emulating Anna Faris's mannerisms from the first movie.
In a very unsubtle way, if that's what she was doing. Like, she was just mugging the whole time. And Anna Faris, she's not necessarily on the level of like Regina Hall, but she has comedic timing, and this new girl, oh,
Well, there was no comedic timing, and it really hurts me to say this, but even the legacy characters fell flat for me.
I agree.
The GOAT of this franchise will always be Brenda Meeks. Every single movie that she has appeared in, she's got one or more iconic scenes, iconic lines. And there's absolutely nothing in this movie that she did that stood out for me. And when I saw the trailer, she's got the ma haircut.
Which there's no real reason for that in the
No,
movie.
because there's no parody. There's no parody of that movie. It's just a
she has that
costume.
haircut.
And they make her look so frumpy. Like the wardrobe department really did Regina Hall dirty. And I, it's so weird to me because when I saw the trailer, I was on the floor. I watched that trailer easily 50 times and it was so funny.
It
When you
was.
see those scenes from the trailer in the larger context of the whole movie, they're so unfunny.
Absolutely. It's insane. Like, you think based on the trailer that it's going to be hilarious, but those scenes, you see them in the movie and they just don't work. Like, the timing is off. It's just,
It's not even a case of they showed the best parts of the movie in the trailer. That's not even the issue.
Yeah, out of context, it kind of works, but in context, it doesn't.
The Sinners parody when Shorty, Brenda, and Ray open the door to the younger cast dressed in their Sinners getup. And they say that they want to do some half gay shit. And Ray's like, why only half gay? I laughed my ass off at that in the trailer. When you see the whole scene, it's awful.
It's crickets.
The scene that really elicited the biggest reaction from me, and when I say biggest reaction, don't get excited because
It's
in the
mild.
scope of everything, it was still mild, was when Brenda's like, they done gentrified the Jeffersons theme song.
Oh, that was your favorite part. Like,
But
okay.
that's not saying much because the bar is so low.
I laughed once during the Get Out parody. That was at Shorty, who is in the movie too much, by the way. But like, he did get the only laugh from me. I'll give him credit for that.
Why was Shorty front and center in this movie? Of all the legacy characters, he got the most screen time. There's only so much mileage you can get from a stoner. I appreciate that kind of comedy.
Gosh.
But to have him front and center when Brenda carries this franchise on her back, is it possible that the Wayans, specifically Marlon Wayans, is jealous of all the adoration that Regina Hall gets?
Well, not to spoil anything, but there's certainly a theme of resentment of the non-Wayans brothers scary movies in the final act. So maybe, like, it's possible. But there was too much Marlon. I do agree.
There's not enough Cindy. There's too much of her daughter. Doofy was written.
Doofy and Gail were disrespected by this movie, I think.
Doofy and Gail, even Greg. There was, mention of his tiny penis, but largely you can't use nostalgia bait with a parody movie. You can't catch somebody off guard with something that we've seen before. Like, we get it, Doofy. Your finger smells like your ass.
Yeah,
we've seen it.
There were too many callbacks in this movie, and each and every one of them just reminded you that the first two scary movies were a lot better than this one.
This movie is going to make bank at the box office this weekend, regardless.
It is, yeah.
Because of the existing fan base. And there's already talk about a part 7. I'm pretty sure Marlon Wayans gave an interview on the red carpet saying that he's planning on spoofing Obsession and Backrooms in part 7. So my thought is he's not looking to write scenes that feel organic comedically, so much as he's looking to parody movies that are being heavily talked about.
Yeah,
right?
that are current. It's sort of like the Friedberg and Seltzer parody movies that came out after the Scary Movie franchise, where it's just references that aren't really connected to each other and don't really work, but they're current movies, so let's just throw them in there. Like, that's one of the shocking things about this movie, is that it was more like watching like epic movie or disaster movie than it was watching a scary movie. It's just bad.
I cannot underline how deeply disappointed I was. I was so looking forward to this
Same.
movie. And Thursday morning, I woke up and I saw some early reviews from people, and I started to get a bad feeling. I did not see any spoilers, but I started to get a really bad feeling because what I was reading was that it was almost as if he made a list of relevant movies, and you can.
Let's just throw them in there.
That's it. Let's
somehow.
just throw them in there. Oh, well, everybody's talking about Sinners, so that needs to be in there.
Yeah, it's like, remember this, guys?
They threw every reference into this movie without any really good ideas or proper direction to take it in. It's just we need to mention it because it's relevant. So we get 6-7, the
Oh my
Epstein
God.
files, COVID, which I'd really like to know why there is a COVID reference in a 2026 release. Because
Yeah,
I found
none of
that to
these
be
jokes land.
terribly unfunny. Chat GPT, fuck, there's so many references in there, and none of them are really done in a thoughtful way enough to make it funny. It's more just like, this is what's current, so it needs to be in the movie. So a lot of them aren't even included beyond we're name dropping this and this and this and this.
Yeah, it's not even satirical. It's just, like you say, thrown in there because I guess it has to be in there. I don't know, but it's terrible. I think like this movie has a lot of problems. For me, one of the biggest problems is that it's pretty scared to offend anyone.
Garbage.
Like every potentially offensive joke in this movie is sort of prefaced or like watered down in a way that's like meant to negate any offense. Like the trans jokes, the Michael Jackson stuff. It's sort of like it feels like they're scared to upset anyone in this movie. And as much as some of the stuff from the older movies hasn't aged well, like at least they were brave enough to make those jokes. This movie doesn't really have jokes. It's just references and crap. It's toothless.
Every line will be crossed. So let me make it very clear. Not one fucking line was crossed.
Yeah, this movie itself establishes where the lines are.
There was not one moment in the entire movie that had my jaw on the floor thinking, oh, I cannot believe they fucking went there. And they had opportunities. They had so many opportunities. And one of the scenes that was taken out was the Sinners parody. Apparently, the original scene had the 3 white actors in blackface.
Oh.
Now, I don't know the context of the scene, but I feel like that would have been a line crossed. And knowing the Wayans, I'm sure they would have done it in a funny way. Apparently, the studio pushed back. They didn't want it. So
yeah, this is a movie that's
that scene
constantly
was
pulling back.
that scene was taken out, and instead of the Sinners/blackface scene that we got a Sinners scene where they made a Wicked for Good reference. Such a fucking disappointment.
They drilled it into the ground a bit.
It was just such a failure across the board. I haven't rewatched it in a while, but Scary Movie 5 might be better than this fucking slop.
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest. And again, that's a low bar. So, that's where we stand on Scary Movie 6. 1 star from both of us, right?
Yeah, 1 star. There's a lot of people that are enjoying it, and you know what? Those that are, I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, good for them. Like it's a dumb comedy either way. So like, who cares if people disagree? Really,
In sad news this week, you need to check on Buffy fans, man.
it's been a tough couple of years.
The Buffy fandom, we're not okay. We're hurting right now. We lost Anthony Stewart Head this week, just yesterday, actually. I'm so sad. He's such a good actor. And he hasn't appeared in that many movies or TV shows. Those of us who follow his work know.
He was mostly a TV guy.
Mostly, yeah, but he did appear in Repo, the Genetic Opera, which
I still haven't seen.
you have to. He is so good in that movie. In real life, such a kind guy, animal advocate. He worked with a lot of animal rescues in the UK. Just such a precious human being. The type of people we need more of in this world. And
And now we have one less because
now we
he
have one
passed
less.
away, 72 years old. Like a surrogate father to Buffy the Vampire Slayer in that show, and a lot of
To all the fans, too.
a lot of the tributes I saw online were essentially saying what you just said. A lot of people viewed him that way, as a sort of comforting father figure character that they could see on TV, and I guess in a way project themselves onto. And it's such a good performance throughout that show. Like he really does have that sort of soft authority figure vibe that's very welcoming to a lot of people that watch that show. And he was a funny actor as well.
He can hit so many notes, and you see it. I mean, you can see it in all of his work, but specifically in Buffy. He can hit you right in your feelings. He can make you laugh, and he was also a fucking smoke show. And the one thing that I think not enough people are talking about is his singing voice. There's an episode of Buffy where you do get to see his singing chops.
I know you love that episode.
Such a good episode, but that's why I love Repo, because he really got to show off his vocal abilities.
I should move that up the list and watch it now. Now that I know that he's so praiseworthy in this movie. Did you ever see him in Little Britain?
I did.
He was funny in that. Like, that's a show with a lot of problems when you look back at it now, but as the Prime Minister, he was pretty funny in that show.
It sucks to see people only getting like the recognition that they deserve
In death, yeah.
in death, which is kind of what I feel about Jonathan Tiersten, who passed away recently. It's like, it's so nice to see everybody giving these people their flowers, but they deserve to hear it when they were still around. So sad day.
And the tribute from Sarah Michelle Gellar, man, on
It wrecked me.
Instagram. Let's get into the movie and another Sarah Michelle Gellar joint.
It's not officially Summerween yet. Summer only starts on June 21st, but like it is 30 degrees where I am right now.
You're broiling.
I am sweating so bad. It is swamp ass season. So, you know
Oh,
what?
boy.
I feel Summerween has started. I never said I had swamp ass. It's
Take your
humid
word
as
for it.
fuck here, okay? I'm ready to die. I feel like beef jerky.
So it's the perfect time to revisit I Know What You Did Last Summer. A July the 4th movie, a slasher movie, very much in the Scream mold. It's I want to say one of the earliest Scream clones. That kind of undersells it a bit, but that's what it is, essentially. You hear to push back against what I just said.
I'm pushing back against it because Lois Duncan,
She
wrote
hated this movie.
I don't care. She wrote the book that this movie is based on. She also doesn't get enough credit because she wrote a lot of young adult novels that dabbled in the horror genre and the thriller genre.
I've read a couple of them. I know I've read the original I Know What You Did Last Summer story. I feel like there was another one where it was like a ghost story.
Summer of Fear is the supernatural one. And Wes Craven adapted that into his 1978 movie. But probably her most controversial title was Killing Mr. Griffin, which was adapted
Not Mr. Griffin.
into a TV movie starring Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell and Amy Jo Johnson from Power Rangers. That was such a good movie. And it's about these kids that kidnap their teacher. And I just feel like Lois Duncan does not get the credit that she deserves because I feel like she really did launch the whole young adult horror genre.
She was certainly one of the big names.
If anything, Williamson might have taken a few themes from her books.
Oh, really? Okay.
I Know What You Did Last Summer was written in 1973. So I don't really consider this a copy. I just want more people to check out her books because they are really good. And if you're going to check out Killing Mr. Griffin, try and get your hands on the original version because it was redone in 2010 to modernize and update it. And that version is absolute dog shit. I don't want to get into this movie without talking about her because I read so many of her books growing up. And we hear a lot about Fear Street and Goosebumps. And I really do feel like she is the inventor of young adult horror. I could be wrong, but she's definitely one of the first people to tackle it. So go check out Lois Duncan's books. I didn't know she hated this movie. She went on
Yeah.
record saying it.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether she said it in an article or an interview, but like she went to see the movie and she was really taken aback by how violent it was. There's some kind of story about her daughter who was murdered, I believe, in real life. And the original book, you've read it, I think. You read it, yeah?
I have, yeah.
It's not really all that violent. And she was, I think, if I remember correctly, very offended by how violent it was. It sort of triggered her a lot because of her own history. And yeah, she just didn't like the movie at all. And as I said, I called it a Scream clone. They really did adapt it to make it more like Scream.
It is a great movie. I love it. It gave us one of the most iconic characters in horror, one that is
Julie James.
beloved to this day. Helen Shivers is a fucking icon. And I'm biased because I love Sarah Michelle Gellar, but
There we are.
such a great job and easily has one of, if not the best chase/death scene in horror. One of the most nail biting for sure. And I feel like the reason it works and the reason why it's so high on my list is because you experience such a wide range of emotions. You see her fighting with him and you get scared for her, and then you see her get away from him, and then there's relief, and then you think like, oh my God, she's gonna live, and you're happy, and then she dies and you bawl your eyes out.
I don't know if I bawled my eyes out. Like, maybe that's just you.
I knew she was gonna die going in. I knew that Jennifer Love Hewitt was the star, but the way they did it, they really fucking toyed with the audience's emotions. They knew her popularity off of Buffy.
Yeah, because Buffy had been going for a couple of seasons by this point, right? 97? When did Buffy start?
I think She filmed this in between filming season 1 and 2.
So people were aware of her
And
at
I
that
think
point.
the movie came out after season 2 had aired. And yeah, I really
Yeah.
think they kind of capitalized on that. And it works. Look, she's still talked about to this day.
She makes an appearance in the new movie as well. It's a
I've
dream
never seen a
sequence.
bad word about Helen Shivers anywhere.
I probably have, but nobody's perfect, right?
Well, then
Would
this
you have preferred
podcast
her?
isn't for you because
Would you
we
have
love
preferred
Helen
her to
Shivers.
Julie James as the final girl?
Yeah,
You wanted the
100%.
like the Marion Crane twist that Psycho had. Like, just give us instead of Julie James, give us Helen Shivers, the Crow Queen. Make her be in the
So
sequels with Brandy
we
and all those other
we talked
guys.
about this in the episode that we did last year.
I don't remember. Go ahead.
Helen is the more interesting character. She is. Julie is
More interesting actress, I
is
think, certainly.
no, but I'm talking specifically about the character. Julie is boring. I'm sorry. If this offends anybody, I'm sorry. She's boring. She is supposed to be the plain Jane. She is a virgin at the beginning of the movie. We all know the vibe that they were going for. Even her wardrobe is very kind of eh. Whereas Helen is the more interesting character.
It's upgraded in the second movie, though.
Just the scene on the beach at the beginning when she's with Barry and she's like, "You're gonna be starting your second season with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm gonna be wrapping up filming All My Children or Guiding Light or whatever the fuck she said, and then you'll be in rehab, and I'm gonna let you impregnate me." Like she's a fucking queen, and yeah, her outfits and her hair and everything about her is iconic, whereas I find everything about Julie is just kind of a little bit dull. Sorry. And that's the way these movies go. The good time gal's gotta die. And then we get a final girl that's kind of
She's there.
she's under-seasoned.
I like her better in the second movie. I'll say that much.
Yeah, same.
In the first movie, she's, as you say, she's pretty bland. She's very much a classic final girl mold, which is in the 90s. Like, even Sydney Prescott, like, way ahead of Julie James, in my opinion.
But still kind of boring compared to Tatum, right?
Whoa, let's not shade Sydney too much now.
No, I'm not shading her.
That's not the comparison I'm making.
No, but you went there. You're telling me you don't see Sydney in the same vein as Julie versus Tatum and Helen?
No, not really. I like Tatum, but I've always liked Sydney Prescott. She's like my favorite final girl, so like I don't look at her in that negative kind of context.
It's not negative. I'm
I think
talking
it is.
it's not. I'm
Feels
talking about
negative.
it's not. Fuck. I'm talking about the portrayal. I don't think it's a coincidence, just as an example. I don't think it's a coincidence that Julie and Sydney are both brunette and Helen and Tatum are both blonde. It
There's a
feels very
conspiracy against blondes.
it feels very Madonna whore. That's all I'm saying. It's a trope as old as time.
We're really digging into slasher movie themes this week. Like we're getting beneath the surface here.
It's no shade at all. Like Sydney is an absolute icon. And I do think that Julie is definitely a more kind of humdrum version of Sydney, a far less interesting version of Sydney.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that.
It all followed a very specific formula. Like, I don't know. I'm just pushing my bias that Helen should have lived and Julie should have died.
Well, she didn't live because she had to turn back, didn't she? Like she could have ran out of that alleyway, but I
The
guess she
way
had
I
skill
screamed
issues.
at her for that. That's not a
Get out of
skill.
there.
It's not a skill issue. Get out
I mean,
of
she
here.
turned back. She could have just kept running. Like, think of Erin Hardesty in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. She was constantly moving forward. Helen Shivers, no.
I mean, if we're comparing Helen to any Texas Chainsaw character, it has to be Chrissy. She was free. You could
she
see
went
freedom
back to save her
3
friend.
feet in front of her, and she went back, like, for altruistic reasons. Listen, I love my friends, but if I'm in a do or die situation and there's a doorway right there, I'll
Fuck.
remember you fondly.
Okay, I'll try and get out ahead of you.
I just don't understand the trope of, like, killing off the more interesting girl. I think that's probably tied into the virginal girl needing to come out on top, even though, ironically, she's not a virgin by the end. But that's what Scream did, right? And I think I Know You Did Last Summer just followed in that vein.
You think that was a conscious choice that they made? Like, really on the nose repetition of Scream.
I don't know if it was conscious. People forget that Kevin Williamson was involved in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
He was? I did forget that. You're right. Did he write it? Or produce or what?
He wrote the screenplay.
Okay. They showed him Lois Duncan's book.
I don't know who's to blame, but definitely there are some parallels there. And I can't remember for the life of me if Julie James loses her virginity in the book. I don't think she does.
Yeah, I think it's a rather sexless book, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And a different killer identity, I believe, in the end. Again, it's been a long time since I've read it. It's kind of a forgettable book. Like the movie itself is more memorable than the book, just because of the way they updated it to be a slasher.
I have Lois Duncan's books somewhere. I have to dig them out.
Have them
But
in
a lot of changes. You expect an update. Look, you can't create something that's going to release in 1997 that looks like it was written in 1973. But definitely somebody decided to go more the Scream route. Whether that was the studio or Kevin Williamson, I don't know. I don't know why you would ask somebody to do that when the book stands on its own.
well,
Like
because
it's its
Scream
own.
made a lot of money.
I know, but I'm just saying,
It was
like,
a big success.
well, her books were a big success, enough to be
Producers don't
adapted.
think of stuff in terms of art
Well, I know that,
and
and
what's
that's the
creatively
problem.
good. They think about stuff in terms of what's profitable. And
Mm.
what's profitable was a Scream knockoff, and I think this falls into the category of a Scream knockoff. It's not entirely the same. It does have a more summery vibe.
There's a lot of movies that suffered from the Scream effect.
Yeah, that's the thing. Did Scream really trigger a slasher renaissance, or did it just like bring in a bunch of repetition into the genre? I know they've been repetitious the whole time we've had slasher movies, but
It did. So
I've
it did
seen people
both.
talk about it being like kind of a golden age of slasher movies. I don't really see it that way. I think the 80s is still way ahead of the late 90s in terms of slasher movies. Like Scream is Scream. It's better than the imitators. Like Valentine,
Scream is responsible for a renaissance within the genre, but it also
certainly
opened
in
the
terms of popularity.
yeah, but it also opened the door for a lot of really shitty copies.
Yeah, its influence is kind of overrated, I think. You know what's funny about this movie is I saw Scary Movie years before I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer. In fact, I saw the sequel before I saw the original movie. But now every time I watch this movie, I just think of every scene in the context of Scary Movie
I know.
because it parodied it so heavily and so well, unlike the
I
recent
can't
movie.
watch the car crash scene without you mentioning a foot and a boot, and frankly,
We
it's
hit a boot.
annoying.
I said it when we were watching it. Hey, it's funny. What can I say?
It is funny, but Jesus Christ, bro.
But that's the context that I consumed this movie in originally, and I can't get away from it. Like every scene in this movie that's supposed to be serious, I have trouble taking it seriously because I've seen Scary Movie parody it. Like with, what's his character's name, Ryan Phillippe's character?
Barry Cox.
Yeah, I know it's not Greg. But yeah,
Listen,
Barry
Barry
Cox
does.
is deaf.
Listen. Barry does not have a micro penis, y'all.
We do not know that, but
I do
it's
know.
not established
It's
in
a
the
feeling
movie.
you get.
It's a feeling you get. You would have been totally happy with him throttling you like he throttled Julie, right?
Well, that's complicated to unpack.
We take this to our grave. How about we take this to the bedroom?
He's assaulting her, and he's not the only person that I look down on in this scene. Her best friend, who's not really trying very hard to stop her boyfriend from assaulting her, and her own boyfriend,
Some
who's
questionable best friends in this movie's franchise. We'll get into that later.
yes, I would love for Ryan Phillippe to choke me. Like when he's choking her and telling her, say it. If it were me, I'd be like, make me.
Oh boy.
Male characters are always doing questionable shit, and Barry is sexy, but he's also a walking red flag. No question. Like red flags everywhere. Imagine telling Sarah Michelle Gellar that she looks like shit run over twice.
That was outrageous. And especially because she looked damn good in that scene. Like, what the fuck was he looking at, bro?
She did. She's smoking her cunty little cigarette. Like she is just smoking hot.
He was straight up delusional in this movie. Maybe that's what you get when you live in a fucking palace in front of the sea.
That house is fucking goals.
It's outrageously good, isn't it? Like, I'd live with my parents my whole life if they had a house like that. No embarrassment here.
I'd never leave.
Where he doesn't have that option, he gets fucking killed off.
So sexy but problematic. That's how we'll label Barry. But isn't that most men in most movies? Sexy yet problematic. I don't know that Ray's sexy. I wouldn't call Ray sexy. I used to have a crush on
wouldn't?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Not anymore? Does he not do it for you now?
He does it for me more now than then because he's one of those guys that benefits from facial hair. When this movie came out, I thought he was cute. And most
He's
men
kind of
don't.
boyish.
Yeah, most men don't want to be called cute. When you call a grown man cute, they don't really appreciate it. Like dogs are
What do
cute.
you mean? I'm fucking 45.
You know? But Ryan Phillippe. I mean, and that's how the movie markets him. He's topless and sweaty, beating up a bag in the gym, and like they're really selling him as the sexy one. And Ray is, yeah, the boyish one.
He
He's
doesn't have
cute.
much personality, Ray, either.
We're supposed to believe he's the good guy,
It's like a
but
blank
again,
canvas.
he just stands there while his girlfriend is being choked,
He's a
pressures
cook.
her into not reporting this crime to the police.
Which turns out well because the guy comes back for revenge, or at least we assume it's that guy. It's actually someone else. Spoilers.
Well, no, we do spoilers here. Listen, this movie came out in 1997. Like, get with it, people. Go watch it. They hit somebody. So, like, half an hour into our conversation about this movie, we'll get to the plot. They are partying one night and they hit somebody on a dark, desolate road. And
Yeah, they hit a boot.
because no, they hit a whole person, which, by the way, Barry should have died. They hit the body and Barry's out the sunroof at like what, 100 miles an hour, maybe?
Yeah, and he's up and walking around a few moments later. Like that at the very least would cripple you, surely.
They hit somebody and they decide to dispose of the body because they're all gonna fry. It's manslaughter. It doesn't matter who takes the fall. We're all gonna fry, which is
Yeah, which is so funny. Like manslaughter, we're gonna fry. Those two don't go together, bro.
no.
Like you'll get like for what, 5 years?
So they decide to dump his body into the ocean despite Julie's protests. She's really the only one that's protesting. And they dump his body, and just as they dump his body, he reaches up. So they're all very aware that they dumped the body of a man who's still alive.
But they don't save him. They let him drown. Or do
Julie
they?
lives with an immense amount of guilt. She appears to be the only one who lives with guilt. Barry does not give two shits. He could not care less, but it doesn't look like any of them really cares. We flash to 1 year later. That's when the movie takes place. Hence the title, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And Julie is really struggling at school. She's about to flunk out of college. The rest of them seem okay. I mean, Helen's not okay in the sense that she went to pursue her dream of being an actress in New York City and it didn't work out. So she ended up back in her hometown
Working for
working
her
at her
sister.
parents'. Well, working for her parents. I think it's her parents' store. But she doesn't seem haunted by what transpired last summer. And neither does Ray until, they all start getting these notes. Julie is the one that really shoulders all the guilt. And she looks like death, which her mother points out to her. The second she realizes she's being stalked, she's not depressed anymore. And I'm going to try and look cute again.
Hey, it's a confidence boost, I guess.
They start getting notes that say, I know what you did last summer. And no, there's no hot dog involved.
No, bitch. Talk about the guy you killed.
What do we think about the fisherman? Is he an iconic killer?
Saying iconic a lot this week.
I say it all the time.
I like him. Like, I did a tweet recently saying that it's kind of a downer when a slasher movie reveals that the main killer is just some middle-aged man, but this is one of the at least two exceptions to the rule. The first one being Russ Vaughn. And this one, I think he's fine. Like, he works. He has
Well,
aura.
I think that this is where this movie goes against Scream, because Scream is very much, you always know who the killer is. And in this movie,
Is it?
well, we're not
It's
talking about
literally the
Scream
opposite.
7.
What do you mean you always know who the killer is? It's built on twists at the end.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, let me rephrase since you want to be a Nazi about it. The killer is always somebody known to you.
Okay.
Whereas this movie is very much the antithesis of that.
Yeah, nobody wants to fuck Ben Willis in this movie. He's not anybody's love interest.
He's very much removed from the friend group. But then when they find out, exactly what happened, which is because originally they thought they killed someone else, but then they realized that Ben Willis killed this other guy. And they just happened to hit him minutes after he committed murder himself, except they didn't kill him. So he now wants revenge. I do like the costume. You made a comment when we watched it that, like urban legend where everybody has that jacket. that
Yeah,
the
imagine if
killer
they'd done
has.
that for this movie.
Well, they kind of do, because
There's a couple of people that have it. Yeah.
Ray has one. He's a fisherman. And then they go to Missy Egan's house, and she has one hanging on a coat hook. It's a fishing town.
It's sort of like a
So-
milder version. Yeah, it makes more sense for it to be a more common like coat that people have than it does in urban legend, where like one person just wears the fucking hooded jacket to the swimming pool. Like, I would have enjoyed something ridiculous like that in this movie, but that's just me. I'm a silly guy.
I think we get something ridiculous in that when
But I do like the look.
Barry is with Helen at the parade, he tackles some poor old man. He's wearing a fisherman's slicker, and Barry just tackles him to the ground, and this dude is like 80 fucking years old. Poor guy.
But yeah, I like the killer's look in this movie. I like the killer himself. Do you like him? Ben Willis.
Listen, he's not gonna make it on my Mount Rushmore of killers anytime soon. I
No.
think he's underrated. I like the hook for a hand. The hook for a hand is tied to an urban legend. And the final scene on the boat with Ben and Julie and Ray, it's a really fun scene. Her running around the boat and she finally finds her friends' bodies. And, it's not your traditional chase scene, but it's a lot of fun, I think. I don't know about you. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I like the ending. It's a good killer reveal for him, and I like the fact that he gets to talk a bit of shit. It's not like a silent, hook-handed killer like he is in the third movie, which I guess we'll address a little bit later. We didn't watch it for this podcast episode though, because you only live once, right? Yeah, I like the ending. I like how this all resolves. I like the little dream sequence slash implied twist at the end where he's still alive too.
My only problem with this movie is that Helen dies. That's really my only complaint. It's a fun summer movie. Like, the summer vibes are off the charts, aside from the fact that it happens on July 4th.
Lots of
You have
fireworks.
you have beach scenes, you have fireworks.
You're Van
Just
Hesh.
just the town that they filmed in North Carolina. It just has a very unique vibe that you don't really see in too many other movies, and I like it. And obviously the nostalgia factor for me, because this came out 97, I was 13, and this was one of the first horror movies I saw in theaters. Like, this was like the first movies that I was old enough to see in theaters. I always hold close to my heart. Those movies are always special to me, and this one is definitely up there. I can't even tell you the theater I saw it in. Like, it's the memories are so vivid in my mind. Take me back. Now I'm getting depressed all over again.
Okay.
Shush.
Let's talk about the sequel then, which came out like a year later. I want to say a
Yep.
year later. It was pretty quick. Great turnover. This was a immediate success, the first movie. So, as Stu says, you got to have a sequel.
You were talking about the lesser movies that copied Scream, like Valentine.
Valentine didn't have a sequel.
It's not, no, but I'm saying all of these movies, even the ones that were not that good, we were always fucking sat. Doesn't matter if it's stupid. Always lined up for these movies.
So, Marianne,
Oh God, no. I know where you're going.
what's the capital of Brazil?
Well, it's not Rio.
Yeah, and that's the contest-winning answer that gets the survivors. Well, one survivor from the first movie sent to the Bahamas with her friends Karla. What's Mickey Pfeiffer's character's name?
Ty.
Ty and Will, whose surname we'll address later on.
Will Benson.
Okay, we'll address it now then.
Well, no, we won't address
Okay.
it. I'm just saying it.
Well, we didn't say anyone else's surname, so it's a bit
Well,
redundant.
I don't think we get the surnames for Karla and Ty.
They're just Karla and Ty. They're along for the ride, you know. But yeah, they win a radio contest that gets them a free trip to the Bahamas, which Ray gets invited to. And for some inexplicable reason, he declines it, even though he's planning to propose to Julie.
He has to work.
It's not a good reason, though, because he immediately decides afterwards that he'll go.
Well, it takes some convincing from a friend, but
Friend I like.
it appears that Julie is supposed to go back to Southport to spend 4th of July with Ray, but then changes her mind because she still doesn't feel ready enough to go back there. I mean, it's only a year later, so she's
It's
still
just a year later, yeah.
traumatized. The movie opens with her having a nightmare. She's basically living the exact same life that she was living after the accident in the first movie.
Yeah, who needs character growth?
No. Also, why wasn't this movie called I Know What You Did 2 summers ago?
It doesn't really roll off the tongue as well.
Well, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer doesn't make any fucking sense. Because last summer is,
Yeah, this isn't like a week later.
God,
It's a whole year.
this is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D of the I Know franchise.
What do you mean?
The
That
math
was
is
in
off.
3D.
The math is off. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Which
Well, he certainly hasn't forgotten, so he has that going for him at least.
should have been called I Still Didn't Forget, bitch. And yeah, the plot hinges on the entire audience not knowing their geography, which I clocked in the theater. So
Yeah,
I
you
knew
watched this in
something was wrong.
theater, so you had to sit there for what, an hour of them being wrong about what the capital of Brazil was.
Yep.
It's Brasilia, by the way, guys. It's not Rio de Janeiro. But I guess you knew that twist was coming at least. Like me watching this movie as a kid, and I watched this before I watched the original movie. I was like, wait, that's not right. This movie's fucking stupid, but it's worth it, guys.
It didn't ruin the movie for me. The second the trailer dropped, I knew what the plot was. Okay, he's back. He's terrorizing them again. So it's not like there was much mystery there. The only thing that this contributes to the movie is how they get to the Bahamas. It doesn't reveal the killers, because spoiler alert, there's more than one. But it's funny. On rewatches now, I now recognize the voice on the phone.
Well, how did they not recognize it? Like, this is a person they know that's on the phone to them, right?
A lot of this movie hinge on both characters in the movie and the audience being stupid. Like the capital of Brazil, you're counting on the audience being dumb,
Well,
which is a little weird.
how about the guy in the Bahamas who instantly knows that they're wrong about what the capital of Brazil is, and he just doesn't react to it, even though it's revealed later that he's seen Ben Willis skulking around. He doesn't like say anything to the characters about maybe this is a setup that's got you here because the capital of Brazil is Brasilia. He just does his thing with the voodoo.
They get there and they learn that hurricane season has just started. There's no more boats in or out of the island. It's their version of winter. They're essentially trapped on this island.
And I like the raininess in the final act that really adds to the atmosphere.
It's an upgrade gore-wise. We get more blood, we get more gore.
Yeah, there's more money shots in terms of what happens to the characters in this movie. Like they're set up almost in a Halloween kind of way to be discovered by the characters throughout the movie after they've been killed. Like Jeffrey Combs gets his fucking head caved in and his blood all over the walls. They find him like that.
Jack Black plays a wildly offensive Rastafarian in this movie.
Hey now, he's the best character in the movie. What are you talking about?
What-
In an uncredited role, by the way. I guess he didn't want this on his resume.
One thing this movie does better than the original
Here we go.
are the secondary characters, Jack Black notwithstanding.
He's whatever. I don't find him as offensive as other people do.
I don't find him offensive, but he adds absolutely nothing to the movie.
He's there to be killed.
We do have some great characters. Jeffrey Combs, who's the hotel manager, he's so fucking cunty. He has so much like resentment for these young people. I identify with that.
Yeah, the classic dry humor that Jeffrey Combs brings to pretty much every role. He brings it here again. And it works so well.
He has
With
no
these douchebag
patience for their
characters.
shit. Wait, we do learn Karla's last name.
Karla Wilson.
Wilson, Karla. That's the only reason I remember that.
Wilson.
Comma.
Wilson.
Stop it.
This twist.
The real standout for me in this movie is Jennifer Esposito as Nancy, the barmaid.
I agree. I love her, and it's not just because she's the hottest character in this movie, guys. She's also pretty cool.
She's
do you not
funny
agree
as
with that?
hell. Yeah,
You're more of
no,
a Jeffrey
no.
Combs girl.
I'm a Jeffrey Combs girl. That's daddy.
Yeah, I like her. She has attitude. She puts up a fight for a bit, but doesn't end well. I do prefer the cast in this movie. Like, even though the first one has Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's head and shoulders above everyone else. I do kind of feel like there's more variety in this cast. There's more personality in the characters. Probably helps that Ray sidelight a lot of the movie because he doesn't really have that much of a personality.
He doesn't, but Matthew Settle has even less of a personality.
Who's Matthew Settle?
Sorry. Will. Will doesn't have much of a personality, just this simpy guy who's trying to get in with Jennifer Love Hewitt. He has a crush on her.
And who Karla is helping to do that.
I guess I'll just get into it.
Okay, here we go.
I'm not a fan of Karla. You know this. I do agree that the cast is more interesting.
The final act. But
Karla as a best friend is really shitty.
yeah, she pushes Will onto Julie, even though Julie's not really interested. She still wants to be with Ray, despite their issues.
But she is with Ray. They had a fight at the beginning of the movie. A fight is not a breakup. Ray is her boyfriend. I mean, a guy doesn't go out and buy a ring for a girl that's not his fucking girlfriend unless he's unhinged, right? The worst part is when they get to the hotel. Julie wants to invite Ray because they do have 4 tickets. Karla went behind her back and invited Will, which would have been an awkward conversation, by the way, as they left for the trip if Ray had showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, he doesn't. He gets taken out by the side of the road and hospitalized after his friend gets killed.
But the worst part for me is when they get to the hotel. They're going to be occupying the 2 honeymoon suites. And as they pull up to the rooms, Karla tells him to put her and Ty's bags in that room, and Julie's going to stay with Will, which you can see the level of discomfort register on Julie's face.
Yeah, there was an agreement essentially that
Yeah.
her and Carla would be sharing rooms, and Carla kind of double crossed her on that. You're boiling over right now.
It also promised Ty, nice, you're two-faced. A really shitty human being for that. Julie ends up having to room with a man that is not her boyfriend in a situation that clearly makes her uncomfortable, and it's her best friend that puts her in that position. So I actually hate Karla. It's not even dislike.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty for her, and like the justification is so that her and her boyfriend can like fuck or whatever. But like you can do that anyway. Like just because you're sharing a room with your friend doesn't mean you can't like fuck your boyfriend when you're on vacation for a few days. It's like I like Brandy's performance though. I think Brandy's good in the movie. It's
She
just a
is.
shame about some of the character traits that she is asked to convey as Carla.
Probably one of the worst best friends I've seen in any film.
Well, Jill was kind of a worse best friend to Kirby in Scream 4. It doesn't go that far.
No, I'm talking about a character who's not a villain.
As a co-survivor, you think she's low down there?
Yeah, obviously, part of my bias is Helen. Holy shit, what a step down. Like, yikes. That's my controversial take on this movie.
You would have been happy seeing her killed.
I was unhappy when I found out she was alive at the end. The first time I watched it, I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
She comes limping back on screen.
She finally acknowledges Ray and gives him the credit that he deserves for
Yeah, this guy
literally
that she's been ripping into the whole movie.
sailing out into a fucking hurricane to rescue, I mean, I want to say them, probably mainly Julie.
Yeah, he was there for
But
Julie.
in the end, you got rescued too by this dude that you've been shit talking.
I mean, she was encouraging her to cheat on him, really. Like, she would have been happy with Julie sleeping with Will on this vacation.
And even though Ray is boring, he's a good guy at this point.
At this
We're
point, yeah.
gonna get into more later, but at this point, he's still a good guy who saved her life. Like, I kind of want to say, like, stay the fuck out of it. Mind your business.
Yeah.
Because her boyfriend, Ty, is kind of a dick. He's making fun of Julie once they get to the island and Julie starts feeling really paranoid. He keeps making digs at her, you know, calling her crazy, actively mocking her and making fun of her.
What do you think about Will Benson
Oh, God.
and his surname and what that surname means? What a twist,
Ben's
huh?
son, get it?
Wait, let me write this down. Let me space the letters out. See if I can figure it.
Ben's son.
Oh my god. That's kind of a bold choice to go with that name when like you're conspiring. But yeah, what a twist, huh? He was Ben's son the whole time and he decided to play it a little bit risky by having that as his chosen surname.
It's not the worst twist of all time. I do remember seeing this killer reveal. The
It's a good reveal.
first time I saw that, my jaw was on the floor. There were levels to it. What ruins it is the Ben son crap. That line just kills my boner completely.
To that point, you were all in. It's funny, yeah, but it's stupid, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's unnecessary. Like, you can just say that you're his son. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, wrapped into your whole character idea.
It kind of kills the mood.
I do like the final act, though. Like, when it's all in the middle of a rainstorm and
Yes, she's wearing a white shirt. We know why you like it.
yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I enjoy the work of the costume department in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. But the atmosphere is also good, Marianne, and Ben killing people in the rain is pretty cool.
I like when they set out to get Ben, and Jennifer Love Hewitt comes out in these khakis and a black bra and a white shirt, and she only buttons one button. I'm gonna go fight this killer. I'm gonna look sexy as hell.
Exactly. Well, she also sleeps in denim pants. We noticed that during our rewatch.
Okay, if you sleep under a comforter wearing denim, you're a demon. There's
And
absolutely no two ways about it.
she has some questionable and impractical fashion choices in this movie that I dare say are designed to like emphasize certain physical traits that Jennifer Love Hewitt has.
Just say it, her boobs.
Jennifer Love huge tits, as Cindy says in Scary Movie. You know, she rejected the third sequel, or the second sequel, and the third movie in the franchise because she said she didn't think her tops could get any tighter.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's one line that she came out with. Evidently, she changed her mind in later years, but she did say no to another sequel, which is why we got what we got. Yeah, you're right, my man. She does look pretty good in this movie. Good point.
You are the one who brought it up. I don't disagree. She does
I
look
just
good.
talked
And
about the rain, and you implied that I had ulterior motives for enjoying the rainy
well, yes, because
setting.
you named the ulterior motives when we were watching the movie. So,
Maybe that might have happened, but people listening to this podcast didn't know that.
well, now they do.
You fucking exposed me again. Rat.
There's definitely an aesthetic change between the first movie and the second movie. Far more demure in the first movie. The second movie, they took it in a different direction. They sexed her up.
Maybe a little bit.
I like the fight sequences in this movie and the chase sequences. The scene where she gets locked in the tanning bed. Such a great scene. The kills are, they take up the kills a notch. There's more gore, higher body count.
There's a Friday the 13th like kill in this movie as well, where the two people are stuck together and impaled.
Yep.
Jennifer Esposito's character.
I felt so bad for that.
Like, make her a final kill. Have her come limping out at the end to be a survivor with Julie. Like Karla die in that greenhouse or whatever it was. I liked Mickey Pfeiffer's death as well, where he's complaining about how he hasn't seen this killer. And he still doesn't get to see the killer because Ben Willis drops down behind him and hooks him through the throat and drags him off screen, which takes a lot of upper body strength. So fair
But
credit to Ben Willis. He must have been
is it
working
Ben
out between
Willis?
movies. You think it might have been Will? Well, he
We
was hidden for a while, wasn't he?
Will was not in that scene.
I assumed that Will had just killed off Estes, the caretaker.
Well, we
That
know he
was
did
where all
that
the blood
because they had
was.
the confrontation that we
I
did
guess.
see.
Well, what I'm saying is I didn't factor in the possibility that he killed, Mickey Five.
That's kind of part of the fun for me when you have a movie with more than one killer. I like to try and figure out who killed who.
I always credited Ben with the vast majority of the killing in this movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just saw Will as being the guy that helped him set it up, and then at the end he reveals himself, and that he maybe was the one that killed Estes. That was always the way I saw it.
One of those things that I like to think way too much about.
I like that he shows up and gets to talk a bit during the final act. He's not just a silent killer.
Yeah. And
He
he
trolls Julie a
delivers his
bit with some of the shit he comes out with.
delivers his monologue, his motive, which I mean, we didn't need to know the motive. It's the same motive from the last movie.
It pre-existed.
It's nothing new. The motive wasn't going to change. Revenge. So the son, Will Ben's son.
Yeah, it's a way to freshen it up a bit.
I wish they would have done it in a less cheesy way, but I like it. And it's a fun movie. But it doesn't have, I know it's July 4th. They tell you it's July 4th, but it doesn't have the summer vibes that the first movie has. It's all, hurricaney, dark and stormy. The name of the drink is a very good analogy for the overall vibe of the movie because it's dark and stormy and it's raining a lot. Everybody's wet. Throughout this entire movie, everybody's wet, soaking wet.
How do you rate this movie?
3.5.
3.5? Okay, so it's a little bit of a downgrade from the first one. I have them rated the same. I do have a slight preference for the first one.
What's
Both
your
3
rating for both?
stars.
3 stars for both. All right.
Yeah, they're not amazing movies. They're kind of middle of the road slashes for me, at least in the 90s.
Annual rewatch for me, which I don't know if I'm going to do this year because we just watched both of them.
Yeah, we just did it. Yeah,
But it's on my July 4th watch list. So many of the season's movies just happen to take place on July 4th. So
What are your July the 4th movies? I assume Jaws is another one of them.
So I have 3 movies that I watch every year on the 4th. Jaws,
Okay.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Cape Fear.
Cape Fear is a good one. The 90s one, the Scorsese one, yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that movie.
Such a great movie. Takes place on the 4th and also happens to be the origin story of one of my favorite ever Simpsons episodes.
Yes, that might actually be my favorite episode. I love Mountain of Madness too, but Cape Fear is so funny. Not just for the rake stuff, but the whole Cape Fear parody just gets me.
So how many times have you learned about a new movie off of a Simpsons episode? Because it's happened to me a few times. And Cape Fear, the Simpsons episode, is how I discovered the movie.
Same. Yeah, and it's happened so many times, because Simpsons is just like it's a staple, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I, I approached that long before I approached so many movies. And oftentimes I watch a movie and I'm like, oh, this is where Simpsons got that bit from. I did see the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies before the Simpsons parodies, though. Remember they had Ned Flanders as the fisherman in one
Mm,
Halloween episode. I enjoyed that one. I know like
I
latter day
did.
Simpsons episodes aren't the greatest, but that was one of the rare hits, I think.
That was a good one. It's funny, I don't watch The Simpsons anymore, but
No,
I
me
do
neither.
watch the Treehouse of Horror every Halloween, because they do some really good parodies. Most probably not gonna watch this year on July 4th. I'll find another movie to
You could
take
watch
its
the third
place.
one. We didn't watch it for this episode.
Well, since you went there, let's go there.
We're not going
There's
to watch it, but we'll briefly
no,
discuss it.
we're not gonna watch it, but, stick around for the next 30 seconds while we give our thoughts on I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which is
We're not going to
a
linger.
supernatural story, direct to DVD.
The movie itself certainly wasn't good. Like the fisherman just becoming a generic character. He's not even Ben Willis. He's the fisherman. And there's supernatural elements. The thing that triggers it all is it's someone falling off a roof or something. Like it's so crappy. Like there's some shit with a Ferris wheel that's not too bad, I guess. But
It's not worth your time.
yeah, the movie's cheap. It sucks. It has its defenders. Like I know
Du
some people that like it. I don't know why. Like, hey, there's flavors for everyone, I guess, but
That's like that's
they're
like
few and far
people
between.
defending Black Christmas 2019. Like, the first thing that comes into my mind is, "My God, why?"
Yeah, we
I don't
decided
know.
against watching this.
You suggested it, and I said, "Hell no."
Yeah,
Already, like, watching 2 movies, I wasn't willing to add, like, not only a 3rd movie, but a cinematic abomination.
yeah, and then
I
you
was
know
not
it is
down.
going in because you've seen it before. I've seen it before.
Uh, I don't remember much about it. I just remember a seething hatred for it. And then moving on to I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025, which we won't talk much about. If you wanna hear our thoughts on that, you can check out I believe it's episode number 3 of our podcast. Very divisive movie. A lot of people had strong feelings. We both enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it.
It does change my viewing experience now when I rewatch the first 2,
Yeah, because
knowing
Ray's
that
no longer the hero in the last one. He's kind of a heroic figure in both the original movies.
spoiler alert, if you haven't seen I Know You Did Last Summer 2025,
Go watch it now. Turn off the
press
podcast, and then come
pause.
back afterwards.
But Ray is the killer, and it doesn't ruin the franchise for me at all. I know there's some people who said that it did.
It still doesn't work for me, that part, but I'm not mortally
We're
offended by
we're
it or
divided
anything.
on that. I enjoy it. I like the bait and switch because they do go in to the legacy sequel with Ray and Julie being at odds. We find out they're divorced, and I really, in the beginning, thought that by the end they would be back together.
Yeah, so they do throw a wrench in it a little bit.
Yeah, traditionally, that's how these movies work, right? In both movies that came before, Julie and Ray are at odds in the beginning of the movie. Well, not the beginning of the first one, but when we go 1 year later and she's in college, her and Ray have broken up. Beginning of part 2, they're fighting. So them being, divorced and in this adversarial relationship at the beginning of the new one wasn't new territory. I just figured they'd kind of find a way back to each other by the end. And yeah, they really kind of threw a curveball at you where not only are they not getting back together, but Ray's the killer.
He wants his ex-wife dead.
I'm a defender. I did not see it coming. I know some people said they clocked it right away. I didn't. So I was quite shocked, but I understand people like you who were underwhelmed with it.
Yeah, I think having revisited the first 2 movies, I like them a little better than the new movie, but they're all the same rating, so it's splitting hairs, really.
I rated it 4 stars, just like the original.
Okay, so you think it's a little bit better than I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Far better than I'll Always Know.
Yes, the original is still my favorite.
I do have more of
Mm.
an attachment, in a way, to the second movie because that was the first one I saw. I had it on VHS. I watched it many times before I even got to the original movie.
Oh,
So in a way that you're like nostalgically attached to the first one, I'm kind of nostalgically attached to the second one, even though it's a lesser movie.
it's fair.
So that's my bias. Wasn't a good cover on the VHS though. It's the typical floating head thing that they were doing back then.
When I logged both of these movies on Letterboxd. I always get really fucking pissed off when there's no good posters because I like to switch up the posters. It's literally the whole reason I pay for Patreon
Same.
is to play around with the posters. And a lot of movies have
Shit ones.
really really beautiful
Oh, yeah.
alternate poster art. And anybody who's a patron on Letterboxd, I invite you to go and look at the alternate posters for Jaws. Probably
So many.
one of the nicest collections belongs to Jaws.
Yeah, I think that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie, have really good sets. But these two movies, not so much. Just
That's Summerween season officially kicked off. Even though it's
maybe,
not officially summer. I
yeah,
don't really
maybe a
give a
little
shit.
early, but whatever. We're setting the rules this year, bitches. It's fucking Summerween right now.
It's definitely summer where I am. Probably raining where you are.
Maybe haven't looked outside today. I like to keep the curtains closed and keep the light out
Jesus
while I watch my
Christ.
horror movies.
Fucking vampire. All right.
I know, right?
Well,
Pasty white British male. The sun is my worst enemy.
that's I Know What You Did Last Summer. And you should definitely add both of those movies to your July 4th watch list. And I mean, if you want to watch the third one, go right ahead. But we're not recommending it.
No, you've been
We're
warned.
we're going on record and saying we recommend you don't watch it. Happy Summerween. For those of us who are officially in the Summerween mindset. Thank you all for listening, and please take the time to hit like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next Tuesday.